Welcome to Lifestyle 360, your one-stop show for everything fashion, lifestyle, and beauty. My name is Shay Adenowo, your lifestyle guru and connoisseur, and I'll be your host on the show today. On Lifestyle 360, we will be talking about food, yummy, delicious, sumptuous food. Now, food is such an important part of life. It is so powerful and so important that it literally has the ability to influence the outcomes of your life. And what I mean by that is what you eat, that is what you are. So if you eat healthy food, the chances that you're going to live a healthy life are really high. And if you eat unhealthy food, the chances that you will have some complications are also very high. I brought someone on the show today who is an expert with culinary art, and she's going to be telling us all about food. When we come back after the break, I'm going to be introducing our guest, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Lifestyle 360, and we are still talking about yummy, yummy food. Before we went on the break, I said that I brought someone who is an expert with culinary art. It is none other than Stella Amakri, the CEO of Summoner's Kitchen. She's going to be giving us spicy, yummy details about food. Welcome to Lifestyle 360. Stella, how you doing today? Good. You look stunning. I like your face. Looks so beautiful.
Thank you.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So, Stella, I know you're an expert with culinary art, and I know that you're also a caterer, and you run a business. Yeah. But how did you get into the food business? How did you, was this something that, you just woke up and I was like, this is a viable business, I'm going to do it? Or is it something that you had like a genuine passion for and you got into it?
Well, for me to be doing this, it's passion for me. It all started when I was young. My aunt was into cooking, and I developed passion for it because I love it. And while I was growing, I decided to go into it not for money, but for passion. It's something I really, really love.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so good. I also know that when I was doing some research about you, I found out you started out with accounting. How did that shift happen?
Okay, well, while I was in school, you know how we do hostel stuff, and anytime I cook, my colleagues, my friends, they'll be like, Stella, I mean, this is you. Why don't you just go into this? At first, I said I wasn't going to do this because it's really, really tasking. I mean, it's stressful.
Yeah.
And after my school, I just said, this is something I really, really love. I mean, I have passion for cooking. Why don't I go into it?
Just monetize the passion.
You know?
Yeah, I like it when we bring people on the show and then their business, what actually is their source of income, is something that they're very passionate about. Yeah. And it's so important to love what you do. Mm-hmm. You might not be there right now, you might just be doing something that you don't quite love, but you've seen life examples that it is possible, it is attainable to actually make money off something that you genuinely love doing, that you wake up every day and like, I just want to feed people. I want to make them happy. Yeah. And I'm just going to also get paid for doing that. That's so amazing. Yeah. So when it comes to food, I know there are different parts of, components that makes, an entire meal. Yeah. So what are the different, components that make a meal?
Well, you have the starters. Okay. You have the main course, and you have the dessert.
So what is in the starters?
For the starters, it's something really light. It's like an appetizer. Okay. Something that would open up your stomach to take the...
To receive more.
To receive more. It doesn't have to be heavy. It's really, really light. And after your starter, you go for your main course. Your main course could be heavy. Depends on the individual. It could be heavy. It could be light. After your main course, you do your dessert.
So for the starters, is there any meal that you can actually give as examples for a starter?
Yes. Let's start with the pepper soup.
Okay.
I mean, pepper soup is quite light. It could be fish, it could be chicken pepper soup, it could be goat meat. Whichever one that is your preference, is okay, but pepper soup is quite good. Well, some people use fruit, but I think pepper soup is best when it comes to starter.
Oh, do you know, I actually didn't know that fruits were starters as well.
Some people use it, but then pepper soup for me
is your go-to.
Yeah.
So how about your main dish? Does the situation of, you know, the person or the situation involved, does it influence the main dish? Let me give an example of what I mean.
Yeah.
So if I'm a pregnant woman per se, what kind of, is it the same main dish I would go for? Same thing with like maybe I'm hosting people or I'm an elderly person. Is it, you know, can it just be anything that can go for a main dish, or the situation influences what the main dish should be?
Sometimes the situation, like I said, it depends on the individual.
Yeah.
For pregnant women, they crave for different things at different times. Okay, let's use this for example. There's a party and you want a 3-course meal, which is the starter, the main course, and the dessert. For the main course, you could have varieties of food.
So the main course doesn't just have to be one meal? No.
No. You have varieties. It depends. Like I would always say, it depends on your money.
Okay.
You understand? You could have different meal courses like rice, spaghetti, swallow.
Okay.
Amala.
You can go even into like Asian cuisine,
you can everything you can think of for your main course, because we have different people's, you know.
They have different tastes.
They have different tastes
okay.
for that. Then for your dessert, it's something light as well, just to digest your food.
People often go for very sweet things like cake and ice cream and custards and such.
Yeah.
So is it that it is strict? Should it be only sweet things that you can have for desserts? Or what are the types of food that you can consider as desserts?
Like you just said, cake, ice cream. You can even have sweet.
Okay.
Then fruit. Then fruit, you know, is not all food. Fruits like banana is quite heavy.
Oh, okay.
So you can have fruits like apple, grapes, you know, pineapple, just something light.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing for desserts, in terms of like quantity, does it have to be in very small portions, or is as far as your stomach can take?
No, it has to be small.
Oh, okay.
It has to be small.
Okay. Thank you so much, Stella.
You're welcome.
Thank you for all these things that you said. I think it's really nice that you shared with us a lot of knowledge about like the different components that makes a meal. I don't think a lot of people know. But before we go on the break, I want to ask one last question.
Yeah.
Is it every meal, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that you need a 3-course meal?
No.
So when would you recommend having this 3-course meal?
Probably for a special occasion.
Okay.
Then, if you can afford it, why not?
Why not have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner? All right, living lavish. I like that. I like that. Okay, thank you so much, Stella. We are not done with Stella yet. When we come back after the break, Stella is going to be telling us some of the skills that you need if you want to get into culinary arts. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back to Lifestyle 360. We still have Stella on set, and she has been telling us about food. Yummy, yummy food. Now, Stella, how do you what kind of skills, rather, would you consider having or equipping yourself with if you want to go into catering or culinary arts?
Okay, first, you have to be passionate about it. Because if you don't love something, there's no how you could put your best into it. First, you have to love what you're doing. Like I would always say, my skill is my unique key to whatever I'm doing. For me, I really love cooking. It's a passion for me. So I went for studying, researching. I mean, the world is in our palm.
So
I mean, you can just go through your phones. You know, let me give you an example. There was a time I was called to prepare Chinese noodles. Then I didn't know how to prepare it. But I wouldn't tell my client that, come, I don't know how to do this. I went online. I did research. When I did the research, I went about cooking it, you know, doing it first.
So you just practiced it?
You know, I practiced it first. And after I did that, I couldn't have told my client that, come, I don't know how to do this. When I presented it, he was like, they were like,
did you travel to China to learn?
they didn't know I didn't even know how to do it. So
Yeah.
you could do this by investing on yourself, read about it. I didn't go to a catering school.
Oh, really? You're self-taught caterer? Wow.
Yes. This is inborn. Then I equipped myself by doing some research, studying about different meals. You know, it's really cheap. You can go online. You can do all of this.
And then there are even so many TV stations. If
Yeah.
you don't have access to the internet, at least you have access to TV. There's so many TV stations that focus on food.
Yes, yes.
So for me, my passion for food and cooking really developed from watching all these food TV shows.
Yeah.
Just thinking, looking at my favorite chefs, coming up with like interesting recipes, building flavors, all those things, even learning names of ingredients, spices, literally, like what you said, all the information is at your fingertips.
Yeah.
Wow. So what other skills do you think I would need if I wanted to go into culinary arts or catering?
Okay, you could also start by attending a class.
Okay.
Yes. For somebody like me, something I love is passion for me. I didn't have to go through that, but you can't say for everybody. Then again, your skills also has to do with your presentation of how you do things. Somebody like, for example, we have different ways the way we prepare our food. Fried rice, for example. When some people cook fried rice, they mix all the vegetables with it. Naturally, your fried rice vegetables are not supposed to be soggy. It's not supposed to be soft.
Okay.
So for me, I'll prepare the rice separately, and I'll prepare the vegetables separately. When it's time for me to serve, I mix it.
So you mix the entire thing together.
I mix it. That's another skill. I mean, a lot of people don't know that. So when you eat my fried rice, it's kind of different. I wouldn't give you all my secret recipe here. So that makes my own kind of food unique. And when I prepare other soups, there are ways I do it. That's one of my unique skills I have, which I believe everybody can develop somehow, somewhat. You understand? I could come to you and say, this is how to prepare egusi soup. You could come with your own way of doing it. That's your unique skills about, you know, yeah.
So when it comes to cooking, do you think being frugal or prudent with your resources is essential? Like, do you need to manage what you have? Or like when you want to cook, just go and go all out?
For me, I don't know, different caterers with
They're different
techniques. I go all out. And that's what makes me different. That's what makes my food different. I go all out. I wouldn't manage when it comes to cooking. Now, if you call on me as a client that, oh, Stella, I want this, I'll give you my charge. For some people, they'll be like, oh, this is too high. But I would give you the best. I wouldn't go for the regular. No, don't do that.
Okay, so this is in terms of catering as a business.
Yes.
But how about personally, if I may be just cooking for myself in my house, do I need to always, like, you know, break the bank just to eat
not
well?
at all.
Or I can just, you know, work with what I have in my pantry?
You can work with what you have. I mean, this is food. It's how you want it to taste.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then you can be creative with, like,
yes, you can be creative with whatever,
you
know, like preparing noodles. If I prepare noodles for you, you'll be like, oh, is this noodles? You don't have to break the bank. But then, make it nice.
Okay. So we've been talking about food. But this is an important part that I like to ask. When it comes to energy and weight loss, people often look to food, aside from, you know, working out, aside from, you know, taking all these supplements and all these things, and then lifestyle changes. Food is one of the major lifestyle changes that people make, especially when they're trying to, you know, stay fit and lose weight. Do you have any examples of food that you can recommend for our audience if they're trying to maybe lose weight, meals that they can take?
Yes. First, you said something, you're what you eat.
Yes.
So you wouldn't take in every garbage. For those of us trying to lose weight, I read something online. You don't have to stop eating the food you eat. One, depends on the portion. You can take it bit by bit because you need carbohydrates, so you wouldn't abstain from it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? You just take it bit by bit. For me, I would recommend moi moi. I don't know how many of you know moi moi.
Moi moi is beans pudding.
cake.
Or beans cake?
No, beans cake is akara.
It's beans pudding, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So moi moi is quite good. Vegetables. Vegetable soup. If you don't want, if you want to break it down fast, moi moi, vegetable soup with unripe plantain. I mean, some people will be like, unripe plantain is not sweet. You can take a bit of ripe one, but I would recommend unripe
one.
And for other food, you can just break it down. Then pasta. I wouldn't say you should take pasta if you want to.
But how about all this brown pasta that they have? They think is wheat and all those things.
Well, wheat is good, but then, like I still said, you don't have to stop. You just take
In a small
quantity, small portion. You don't have to stop because one, your body is already used to these meals. So the minute you stop, somehow it affects you. You can just go bit by bit, just little by little. Some people already have big frames, so there is nothing they do. They'll just probably drop, but then the frames are already there. So you just take it little by little. If you say don't eat, it can't work because your body needs some of those components.
And nutrients.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Thank you so much, Stella.
You're welcome.
We've come to the end of the segment. Did you have fun?
Yes, I did.
Oh my, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you guys learned a lot about foods today, building your meals, the essential components, the starters, the main dish, and the dessert. In fact, I mean, I'm just, all these sweet things we're talking about are making me hungry. Okay, guys, so when we come back after the break, we'll be looking at Ask Shay, where a viewer has sent a question for me to answer, and Style Dictionary. Thank you again, Stella. Thank you so much for coming on set with me today.
Thank you.
My pleasure. So we'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to Lifestyle 360. We had Stella tell us all about food and planning your meals. And she even went as far as recommending meals to help with weight loss. Now it is time for Ask Shay. A viewer has sent in a question and I'm going to go right ahead and read it. Hi Shay, I recently started dieting and it's not been easy because of my busy and sometimes unpredictable schedule. I would like to be more consistent with eating healthy. Any advice? Okay, so the first thing, I like that you said eating healthy. It's so important that even if you're going to switch up your diet, your goal is to eat healthy, not just maybe lose weight or gain weight, right? So if you're trying to be more consistent with this, with this new addition to your lifestyle, I would advise you to do meal plans. And then what that simply means is sort out your meals. Maybe breakfast, lunch, dinner, Mondays to Sundays or Mondays to Fridays, depending on when and how busy you are. So you know that your breakfast is settled, your lunch is settled, and your dinner is settled. Because it's very important for you not to skip meals, especially if it is health that your goal is when you are trying to work on your diet, right? And ensure that each of these meals that you've prepared has all the necessary nutrients that you need. It's not just, you're just eating just fiber, or just protein. So whatever type of diet, even if you're doing intermittent fasting, ensure that your next meal is set and ready. So I hope that I've been able to answer your questions. I hope that you would try meal plans, and I hope it helps you with consistency. After the break, we'll be looking at Style Dictionary. Welcome back, and it is time for Style Dictionary, a segment of Lifestyle 360 where we give you insight into basic beauty, fashion, and lifestyle terminologies. Today we're talking all about food and dieting. The first thing we have is carbs, also known as carbohydrates, which provides energy for the body. Carbohydrates are found in a wide array of both healthy and unhealthy foods, like bread, beans, milk, and potatoes. Healthy high-carb diets consist of quinoa, oats, buckwheat, bananas, sweet potatoes, oranges, apples, and berries. Calories. A calorie is a unit of energy. Historically, scientists have defined calorie to mean a unit on energy. In nutrition sense, all types of food, whether they are fats, proteins, carbohydrates, or sugars, are important sources of calories, which people need to live and function. Ketogenic diet, a type of eating plan in which someone aims to lose body weight by eating a lot of foods that are high in fat but few carbohydrates. And that is all we have today on the Lifestyle 360. I hope you learned a lot from our culinary art experts. I hope you're going to try out some of the meals that she said. And actually, when you're hosting friends or throwing a mini soiree, have the three main parts of your meal, which is the starters, the main dish, and your dessert. And if you're cooking, don't forget to call me. So guys, I'd like to hear your questions, critiques, suggestions, and feedbacks showing on the details on the screen. That is all for today, guys. Until next time, I am still your host, and this is still a Lifestyle 360. Bye.